Well, hello there. Hope you're doing fine, and I'm doing fine too. I'm quite quiet today inside. I'm feeling very, I don't know, maybe introspective or something. It might be the full moon and life in general. But I wanted to come on quickly and share something not too long about a topic that I've been wanting to share for quite a while, and everybody that knows me knows this. So, this is something that I am extremely passionate about and might surprise you, and I think we should talk about this much more often, which actually colors off in all areas of our life, where we might be experiencing some kind of frustration, lack, disconnect, right? So, I'm literally talking about the country America. I consider myself America's number one fan, literally. There's two things in my life that I would consider I'm number one fan of, and America is one of them. And I have had a very, very profound and very fascinating experience with my connection to America. So I left when I was 9 years old. My parents, long story short, my parents took me. I grew up in California, then in New Mexico. My parents moved with me to Europe. I ended up going, we were in Ireland, then I ended up going to school in like Geneva, and then I went to Germany. So I had to learn, at one point I had to learn fluent French, then I had to learn fluent German, which is now better than my English, and now I'm back. And since I was 19, let's put it differently, when I was 19, I took my first approach to come back to the US. I might have even been 17. I think I was 17 when I took my first approach, because I wanted to study in the US, exactly. And it didn't work out, sadly. There was always these obstacles, and so anyway, when I was 19, I took the second approach, and I kept on trying to come back to the US and stay there. And I've always commuted, because my family, my mother's side they're like spread out all over the US and Canada and stuff, and I think even Mexico. And so I was just always wanting to come back. So by not being able to come back, I was able to think a lot about and feel into my connection with the USA. And I kept on asking myself, a couple times I almost gave up, and then I'm like, why is this not going away? It's like a soulmate connection. And I researched a lot about the US and what it stands for and what makes America so unique in the world, situated in the world. Of course, there are the geographical elements, but there are also other elements, and that's what I dove into even deeper. So I believe that my connection to myself and who I am is in complete alignment with what America stands for in its essence, right? Not the mess we see right now, right? We see a mess everywhere, but it's about the essence, the core essence, the spirit, the quiddity of America. And there's one country that I feel compares to the US in terms of that, but I don't want to go into any of the other countries. So something very fascinating about America is you as a human, you're here, and we have something called the Constitution, which literally has written in black and white that the human being in America is here, every human being actually, but let's talk about Americans, and above the human being is one thing only, and that is source. It's God, whatever you want to call it, right? It's the source of creation. So any entity, any bureaucracy, any government is basically there to support that and to protect it. And so we have God-given rights, and that's written in black and white, and I find that absolutely beautiful, and that's it aligns with my connection to myself, to who I am, and how I truly trust that inner part of me that is connected. Got interrupted there. What is truly connected, where I truly feel connected to myself, and I trust, and I know that deep down inside of me or above me, my higher self, my subconscious, my higher consciousness, there is something there that is so deep and profound and wise and leading and loving, that is always what I can default back onto. So it's like the factory settings of your, it sounds silly, but factory settings. You're like, if you have to set back to factory settings, there's a system. There's a platform, there's a foundation, there's something to rely on. So when you get lost, there's something to fall back on. And I feel like that's what we have in America. And it's so profound, and it's so important that we realize what we have, like the amazing opportunity we have in America, and as not only opportunity, but also the responsibility that we can take on as an American, to understand how valuable this country is and what a key role we have played in history, and need to rethink, and the key role that we can play looking forward, which we can rewrite how we've been going about things. And as much impact, negative impact, also positive, but negative impact as we've had on the world in the past hundreds of years, let's say 150 years, 100 years maybe going back, as much impact as we've had, as much impact can we have moving forward in a positive way. Everything we've learned, we've gone through boot camp, right? And interestingly enough, as many people as I know, and myself, where I just have this disdain for the, Hollywood, we have practiced something in Hollywood that is very interesting, which is taking on the superhero role. What does that mean, right? We're not a country of fake it until you make it because we're fake. We're a country of practice, get back up, do it again, you got this, I got your back. Don't if you fall down, that's not what counts. It's about getting back up, right? And through practice, you achieve absolute mastery. So I think it's time that we step into that role of being the human beings that have been called upon, and every human being is being called upon, and looking around and saying, what do I have? Who am I? Where am I? I can act from here. It doesn't matter if you're in Germany, it doesn't matter if you're in Spain, in Portugal, in Italy, in Australia, in America and Canada, in Mexico. It doesn't matter. Stop complaining. Get onto your feet and look at the beauty you have around you. And if there's anything that you can, anywhere that you have to course correct, do that. It's time. We have no time to lose anymore. We never did, but right now, it's game on, because if you don't kick your own ass, it's going to be kicked. Either by the spiritual world or just by the circumstances that force you to get moving, even if it's through suffering. And that's how most people learn, which is sad, and it's really difficult as an empath, and I don't necessarily consider myself as a typical empath, because I can discern very well between people who want to be in that fake victim role and what kind of tough love is maybe necessary. It's more about being compassionate, right? But we need to take each other by the hands, and we need to lead the way with anything and everything we have. And it doesn't matter where we stand and what we have. It's about just moving forward, taking one step after the other, and being there to love each other and being compassionate. Leading by example is so important right now. I love you all, and I just wanted to share this message today.